Alright, so this is video number 9 of the boxMan tutorial, and hopefully the last part of the rigging section. This is section number 5 of rigging, and basically we're just going to put the controls in for our rig. And when you animate, you only want to move the controls around. You don't want to be touching joints, geometry, or IKs or anything. You want to use these other controls to kind of move those objects. So since the last video, I put the other IKs on, and I also made a group with called Control Curves Group, and also put it on a layer called Control Curves Layer. There's nothing in the group right now. The way that I made a group by itself is I just clicked in the outliner over here and hit Control or Command G, and it makes a null group that you can rename. Alright, so the reason why we use curves as controls is because curves do not render. They are essentially a one-dimensional object. It's basically a line. There are curves are used for other things besides controls, but we're only going to use them for controls right now. So the way that you make a curve is you go up to Create, NURBS Primitives. I forgot, God, what is, it's like something real binary something curves, but anyway, it's another form of modeling. Other people call it surfaces, but we're just going to make a curve which is going to be a circle. You can just click anywhere, and I'm going to grid snap it to the bottom. I'm going to scale it up. Alright, so on your curve, you can the way that you make this into something other than a circle, right click and hold on it, go to Control Vertex, and you're able to move these vertices around. So for the first curve that we're going to make our master control. The master control will control all the other curves and thus move our character around. We will not animate with it, but we're just going to put our character, it's just for basically positioning your character. So the first thing with the curve, this control is I can grab these diagonal points and scale them inward, and you get kind of this like X thing. But from a master control, I like to have it a little bit more detailed than this X, because I use the X's for, like, let's say the body, the waist controls, stuff like that. So actually I'm going to go ahead and leave this X here because I'm going to use it in just a second. I'm just going to pull it over to the side. I'm going to remake another circle. Just hit Y to reenact the last tool. I'm going to scale this up again, and so the way that we add more information here, more vertices, so that we can change the shape of this curve, is you select the curve in object mode. So if you're in Control Vertex mode, you need to be in object mode. So basically right click on it, go to object mode. So you've got it green right now, and go to Edit Curves, and then you're going to go to Rebuild Curve with the option box, and you can basically choose how many spans you want to have. 16 is the number of spans that I'm going to use because it gets me the type of curve that I usually use as my master handle. So I'm just going to hit Rebuild, going to go to CVs now, and you'll notice that I have twice as many CVs that I had before. So I'm going to select every other CV, and I'm not selecting the ones on the grid, the actual bold lines, because I want to tell when my character is facing exactly forward or exactly at a 90-degree angle. So so you can kind of make this shape right here. Then you can go back out into object mode and scale it up to about that size. Now when you do all the scaling, moving around, make sure to delete your history and also freeze transformations. Actually, you want to freeze transformations first, because freezing transformations is actually history. So freeze transformations, then Alt-Shift-D to delete history. And we also need to name it. So we're going to name it master underscore control. So that's in position. Now I'm going to let's see, I'm going to vert snap this body curve to the those three joints. They should all be on top of each other so they have the same center. The way that you vert snap is you hold V down and middle mouse drag around. See, it snaps to all the vertices. And so again, going to see, that's a pretty good size. You want to, we're going to have two curves actually on top of each other. One is going to control the upper hips, the other is going to control the lower hips. So you want to get them basically, I have the lower hips being a little bit bigger than the upper hips. Right now I know that goes against the joint sizes. I usually actually, I look back at some of my other models and I usually do make the upper body joint smaller than, and the lower body joint the medium size, and then the root the largest. But anyway, it's fine the way that we have it. I'm going to select both of these, freeze transformations, Alt-Shift-D to delete history, and I'm going to name these. This is going to be hips upper control. Hips upper control. Notice that I'm writing control on the end of all these so that I know that they are actually controls versus another type of curve. Like, it's not so important in this example because we don't have curves doing other things, but when we do, it's kind of important to name stuff like that. So for getting the hand controls, or actually the head, I'm going to just vert snap it to the neck. Going to scale it down, and this will control the orientation of the head. I am going to duplicate again, and the way that I'm duplicating is Control D. And oops, I want it to be right there. And I'm actually going to hide the geometry for this, just so I don't vert snap to a geometry by accident. Alright, so I'm going to make sure this is exactly 90 degrees. And going to duplicate, vert snap all the way over here. Oops. How did I vert snap rotation? Alright, anyway, vert snap to the wrist, and going to make sure all these are named accordingly. So right hand underscore control. Again, naming is crucial. So make sure that your naming style is consistent, and make sure that's clean and organized. Actually, I'm gonna call this head aim control because we're gonna do kind of a cool thing for the head. All right, so I'm gonna put all of these under control curves, but I'm going to take the master control and kind of pull it right out. So it's not in the control curves, but it is inside boxMan complete. Oh, and I forgot the feet controls. Sorry about that. We're just gonna make another circle. And we're going to just kind of make it into an ellipse, basically, or an oval. Invert snap it to the ankle, oops, something like that. I'm going to turn geometry back on real quick, just to make sure that it is outside of the geometry. Kind of like right there. And I'm also going to make sure it's on the grid. And it's okay that it's not perfectly on the joint. In that more complicated setup, the reverse foot setup, you would actually make it on the joint because you would have this more complicated setups. But since we're not doing that, don't worry about it. And I'm going to name these left foot control. And this one's going to be right foot control. I'm just copying and pasting stuff just so it goes faster. And since I already showed you guys how to do the pole vector constraint, I'm going to do that on the, let's see, probably not in this break, but I mean at the end I'll show you guys a finished model, and I'll show you that it's pretty much unbreakable. But this is basically our setup for all our controls. Just make sure that, oh, I did forget one more control. I'm going to try and do it very quickly. It's going to be the eye control, the eye aim control. So I'm going to bring it up to the head. I'm going to pull it forward, turn off my geometry, rotate it. So I don't think I'm going to have enough time to show you freezing transformations on everything, but please remember to freeze your transformations. And you want to basically make your eye control kind of like eyes. I'm going to reshape it better and show you guys in the next video. But you want it kind of like eye level. But I'll see you guys next video.